Good day, everyone. So before anything else, I want to introduce to you the members of the Week 9. Starting with Miss Anamae Cabauatan, a researcher and a reporter in our group, and Mr. Nolito IV Pacardo, our researcher and reporter also, and myself, Charlene Mae Bonita, a researcher and a PowerPoint presentation compilation in charge. Next is Ms. Eleonor Antonio, a researcher and written reports compilation in charge. And lastly, Mr. Kennedy P. Lantano, a researcher and the technical operator. And to start with, let me call on Mr. Nolito IV Pacardo.
Good morning, Dr. Soriano. Good morning, classmates. We are the importance of stakeholder engagement. We will know here what is stakeholder engagement, why does stakeholder engagement matter, what are the tasks on how to engage stakeholders, and the benefits of effective stakeholder engagement. Before we'll proceed, we have definition and recall. Stakeholder. It refers to any group or individual who can affect or is affected by the achievements of organization's objectives. They could be investors, employees, customers, shareholders, suppliers, or managers. Another term that we have is CSR. It is a strategic approach for a firm to anticipate and address issues associated with their interaction with others, and to prevent this and other morally reprehensible practices which can weaken society, hurt employees, and damage companies' reputation. First question, what is stakeholder engagement? Stakeholder engagement is a process by which an organization involves people who may be affected by decision it makes or can influence the implementation of its decision. Those people may support or oppose the decisions. Next, why does stakeholder engagement matter? Customers might see a firm as unresponsive to their needs. Employees can feel unappreciated. Suppliers could have less trust in the firm. Local communities might be less cooperative, and investors could get nervous. In short, a firm might miss important messages about its profile and performance. The shareholders mentioned have direct impact on a business decision-making process, and they can directly impact as well the marketing performance of a business. Shareholders or stakeholder engagement is a key part of corporate social responsibility in achieving triple bottom line. It is a requirement on global reporting initiative and that work based on organization with sustainability reporting framework which widely used around the world. Stakeholder engagement is a tool used by mature public and private sector organizations, especially when they want to develop understanding and agree on solutions of conflict or issues of concern. Next, how to engage stakeholder. There are steps or tasks on how to do it. Task number 1, identify stakeholders. A useful technique at this stage is stakeholder mapping. It is a way of visually representing a variety of stakeholder relationships the firm has and their relative proximity or strength. In making stakeholder map, the first thing we need to do is to focus on the project. Example, your project is to understand and improve the customer experience of your product. After that, create a list of stakeholders, then determine the level of importance and prioritize. Last step, illustrate the stakeholder map with value of exchange. Next, we have task number 2, Understand the reason for stakeholder engagement. Number one, building social capital. Do you know that social capital is a foundation on which a firm renews its license to operate? It is the basis for employees' willingness to give their best. It is essential to brand value. Social capital means strong, trusting relationship. Number two, reducing risk. Most concerns in a business are service and product quality, safety, human rights, environmental and governance concerns. With stakeholder engagement process in place, a firm will have a way to detect and respond to stakeholders' concern promptly before they become much bigger problems. In short, stakeholder engagement can provide an early warning radar. Next, driving innovation. Stakeholder engagement helps business to identify its environmental, social, and economic impacts. Awareness on those areas is one of the ways to develop corporate responsibility strategy. Lastly, integrating management. With stakeholder engagement, managers are able to see big pictures of business operation. It helps them to recognize, analyze, and address challenges for multiple perspectives and across different levels. By this, management will be refined and modernized. Those are the reasons for stakeholder engagement. And next, Ms. Anamae will continue the remaining topic. Thank you.
Hi, a blessed day to each and everyone, and to our professor, Dr. Elizabeth Soriano. I'm Anamae Cabauatan. My report is just a continuation of the report of Sir Ford. However, before I start, I would like to add some information on the importance of stakeholder engagement. First, a question of why stakeholder engagement really important. It is really important because an effective engagement helps translate stakeholder needs into organizational goals and creates the basis of effective strategy development. By discovering the point of consensus or shared motivation helps a group of stakeholders to arrive at a decision and ensures an investment in a meaningful outcome. Kasi sa bawat organization naman, sa bawat project na gagawin, either small or large, there are always going to be a stakeholders in public or community members who are being impacted by the project. So para sa successful outcome ng organization project na i-implement, dapat meron kang tinatawag na stakeholder engagement to avoid yung conflicts and problems in the future. Like for example, si BPI. Si BPI kasi is may bagong product na kaka-create lang. It was just implemented year 2016. Ito yung OFW pa man na padala savings account and padala manager for OFW beneficiaries. So, ang daming process and test na ginawa ni BPI management before they successfully come up with the product. They communicate into different groups and members externally and internally. Sa internal process, nakipag-communicate sila sa employees, particularly sa marketing department. Sa marketing department, kung kaya ba ng marketing na makapag-produce ng certain design and features ng product. Sa accounting department naman, kaya ba na ma-sustain yung financial, yung pagpe-finance ng materials and tools na gagamitan for the product and so on. So, sa external process, of course, customers, which is nag-conduct sila ng interviews sa mga OFWs para sa formation ng product. And syempre sa suppliers, kaya ba ng suppliers ni BPI na makapag-supply na kinakailangan ng materials on time? Then, so, what is the stakeholder strategy they developed? They created certain decisions will be affected and be of interest to the different groups such as who they will be consult and collaborate with the project. Kasi in stakeholder engagement, dapat you have to consider yung both internal and external stakeholder of the organization. Hindi pwedeng isa lang. Dapat alam mo yung four groups of stakeholders. Yung four groups na sinasabi kong stakeholder is yun yung low interest, low influence, high interest, high influence. Sila yung those stakeholder that you need to keep informed, those you need to keep involved and consult with, those powerful stakeholders you need to engage, those partners you need to collaborate with. So let's move to stakeholder engagement process, yung 5 process, which is yung first and yung second step na process is already discussed by Sir Port. So punta tayo doon sa pangatlo, yung which is yung plan. Next slide is yung ayan. So yung third step or yung third process is yung plan. A plan on how are you going to conduct an engagement process. In this stage, this is the preparation on long-term goals to drive the approach, determine logistics for the engagement, and set the rules. So dito papasok kung sino-sino ba yung mga involved na members and groups of stakeholders, yung mga facilities, materials, tools, and techniques na gagamitan for the details of operation. So let's proceed to task number 4, which is yung dialogue. Start the dialogue, yan ang task number 4. Yung pang-apat na process ni stakeholder engagement. So let us first define what is dialogue. So dialogue means two parties conversing, cultivate a capacity for listening and being seen to be listening. Recording or recapitulating the main points to arise after each meeting is one way of demonstrating that messages are being heard. It can be enhanced through the use of interviews, surveys, and focus groups wherever possible. This should build on existing contacts and research. So in this stage, this is the stage of engagement na. Ano yung gagamitin mo para makipag-communicate with your stakeholders, to keep them satisfied, and showing considerations. So once you have identified your stakeholders and have a clear purpose, it's time to find the tools to inform, consult, or collaborate with them. So if it is through digital tools for stakeholder collaboration or traditional tools of stakeholders, such as, ano ba yung mga traditional, such as paper questionnaires, information roadshows, face-to-face meetings, or newspaper advertisement, discussing forums, online surveys, etc. So, let's move forward to the last stage, which is yung task number 5. So sa task number 5, which is maintain dialogue and deliver to commitments. In this stage, this is the stage of action plan or feedback loop na. It is the identifying the opportunities from feedback and determine actions, revisit goals, and plan next steps for follow-up and future engagement. It is also a monitoring of performance to be get clear on what results you expect from each stakeholders and make absolutely sure that you honor your commitments to them in turn. So if you want to deepen the value and long-term benefit, be willing to build a culture that values delivering on your promise. So let's move to the 7 benefits of effective stakeholder engagement. So, yung sa task number 5 nga pala, mga examples lang siya na pinakita sa screen. So, let's move to the 7 benefits of effective stakeholder engagement. First is yung learning. Learning, engaging with different perspective, provides opportunities for learning and potentially changing your approach to ensure it fits the needs of stakeholders. Dito, sa learning, syempre, after working into different groups, from experts in their field to users of services to the general public, it can give you an opportunity, of course, to learn about the issues, test any assumptions it might have, and develop insights into people's lives experiences. This is yung on decision making. On decision making, understand the views and interests of your stakeholders. This is more than just getting the language right in understanding issues and concerns. It provides an opportunity to reflect on what will and will not work and why. So dito sa decision making, this is the very important aspect because one decision you make can lead into negative or positive outcome. Through stakeholder engagement, you are able to determine and balance the situation from time to time. So next is yung saving time and money. Engaging early can lead to savings of both time and money in the long term. Dito, this is not just develop your robust policy or a product, but also develop a real understanding of needs from the start of implementation. So next slide is trust. Next is trust. Trust, effective stakeholder engagement is critical to building lasting credibility and trust in your organization and or product. Dito sa trust, dito hindi lang yung company name ang nakilala but also the company can build rapport to their internal and external stakeholders. Next is yung risk management. Being open to different can improve risk management through potentially highlighting issues you may not have been aware of and help you prioritize. Dito, matututunan mo kung paano ang mag-set aside sa bawat situation. Sabi nga sa meaning is yung prioritization dapat. So, accountability. Next is engaging with stakeholders is central to improving accountability within your own organization as well as the wider market. Transparency is important. Be clear about the outcomes you are hoping to achieve and the steps on the way. Next is the understanding needs. So, understanding the full range of needs and views can lead to better policy making and better outcomes. So dito sa understand understand yung needs, like yung binigay kong example kagaya ni BPI, before silang nag-conduct ng bagong product into the market, inalam muna nila kung ano ba yung main needs ng mga OFWs natin. So that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Stakeholders play an important role in all business improvement activities, whether it is developing plan, monitoring progress, or celebrating accomplishments. All business activities will be most effective if done through the collaboration of stakeholders. Meaningful participation by the stakeholders require careful preparation and clear communication. Before we'll end this video, we will share you this saying. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. Once again, this is the Week 9 members. Thank you.